Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up the world view. Largest ever Budapest Pride march challenges hateful Orbán. In Budapest this weekend, history was made. Tens of thousands filled the streets in the largest ever Pride parade Hungary has ever seen, despite the government's attempt to ban it. Right-wing Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, whose party passed an anti-LGBTQ law in March, aimed to shut Pride down by criminalizing the depiction of homosexuality to minors. Organizers and attendees faced threats of fines and even facial recognition tracking. But Hungary's queer community and allies pushed back with love, resistance, and massive numbers. The Pride president, Viktória Radvány, said, quote, "We believe there are 180,000 to 200,000 people attending. It is hard to estimate because there have never been so many people at Budapest Pride," end quote. Even Budapest mayor joined the march. Péter Magyar, Orbán's political rival, didn't mince words either. Magyar said, quote, "Viktor Orbán became the king of pride in Europe yesterday because no one else has ever managed to mobilize such a large crowd for a demonstration against himself by inciting hatred," end quote. Despite Orbán's calling the parade shameful, LGBTQ Hungarians and allies showed the world what pride and courage really look like. Oh my God, this makes me beyond happy. You know what's more powerful than hate? Half a damn city marching in rainbow. Budapest just served Orbán his own censorship with a side of glitter and guts, baby. When you try to erase queer people, we don't disappear. Right. We show up in numbers so big that you can't count us and you can't stop us. And that's how you show what pride really is.
Right. I mean, it's like, I'm trying to think, what was DC Pride? How many attended that one?
I don't know.
That was World Pride.
World Pride.
Was about 2 million, I believe.
Was it? Okay. But I'm sitting there thinking 200,000 in Budapest. I mean,
but that has to be straight people. That has to be your family. That has to be your neighbors. And that's what got me excited because, every large community hopefully has a large gay community.
Yes.
But they have their allies.
This time it was people who would never have gone out or might never have thought about going out with their kids. Now sitting there going, we're here, enough of this shit.
But also, they took a risk, and I think Americans need to learn that sometimes you have to take a risk. Like, what really scared me is the facial recognition technology. These 200,000 people have probably put themselves at great risk of arrest, and they knew what they were doing, and they did it. And I wish more people in the U.S. would be willing to do that when it comes to trying to counteract Don't Say Gay bills here. We have to be willing to go out there just as much as the people of Hungary.
I don't believe that statement. For 250,000 people in Budapest, I don't think that there was such. I mean, there might have been a few cameras, and I think that was said just as a bully threat.
Scare people, of course it was, of course, but that's enough.
That's getting very real. We don't know how their government's going to react. They don't know. They went out there being very brave, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and I agree with that. And it puts Orbán on notice to say, you're not going to get away with the shit you want to get away with, not without a fight.
Yeah, we did so many stories from this table about Hungary being so anti-LGBTQ and literally saying there were anti-LGBTQ zones. Where you were not able to say anything about being gay or talking about anything that had anything to do with gay culture or community or anything. And now they have 280,000 people out there marching, and what gives me chills is what you said, because it's friends, families. It's not just the queer people out there marching. It's the people who support them, Last Pride, I went to Colombia. I went to Medellin Pride, right? They don't have guardrails on the side. They had 2 million people at their parade. And it's just people joining in the parade, then going to work, joining the parade and then moving on, and it's people with their families. It's not just LGBTQ plus people. It's like, if you're affected or touched in any way, shape or form by a queer person, you're out there hollering and screaming, it's orgullo, it's pride, and we belong here.
Yeah.
Chills. I love it. Sending so much love to Budapest. You have no idea. And I never thought those words would even come out of my mouth, right? So I love it. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.